All right, it is NCAA postseason volleyball on All Access, and it's time to catch up now with Colleen Munson, head coach for the Western Michigan Broncos. And first things first, welcome to Minneapolis. Your first thoughts on this bracket and this region of the NCAA tournament?
We're happy to be here. It doesn't matter what region or what bracket we got into. We're happy to be here, and we're going to enjoy the experience.
Now, tell me a little bit about the MAC conference this year. How was the volleyball played in what's always a very tough volleyball conference?
Very competitive, competitive down to the wire, and I think we reflected that in the four bids we had overall, and it was just nice to see the team step up, and as a whole, we're really proud of all the individuals in our league.
Talked about this with Washington as well in the great conference that they play in weekend to weekend, facing tough clubs over and over again. How well do you think that prepares you for the NCAA tournament where every day is do or die against a great squad?
Well, it's unquestionably a great experience for the kids. You know, all the way through preseason, through our conference season, we have to play our best volleyball. And if we don't, we're not going to be on the winning end. So we're challenged by all of our conference opponents as well as our out-of-conference opponents earlier in the season.
Speaking of Washington, what have you seen out of the Huskies on film so far in breaking down your opponent?
They're a very good team. They come from, like you mentioned, a very good conference. They're big, they're athletic, and they're going to be very competitive tomorrow.
I asked this question earlier on for Washington, so I'll do the same today for Western Michigan. If we were trapped in an elevator, and for somebody who's never seen Bronco volleyball, tell me about this team and what they're like when they're playing at their best, and maybe what they're like when they're not playing at their best.
Well, we traditionally have a very scrappy team where we're known for defense. We run a very fast offense. Our athletes are not as big as some of the traditional Pac-10 athletes, so we have to utilize our speed, our quickness, our effectiveness. We have a very high volleyball IQ. We know what's going on, and we're very good at first ball contact.
And that's when your team, your Broncos, are at their very best. What about when they aren't at their best?
Well, you can take the opposite of all that. Where our first ball contact is not very successful. We're not communicating well, and I think every coach's nightmare is when you're not in system, you're trying to play someone else's system. So if we're in system playing our team, what we do well, we're going to be successful. If we try to do something that we're not used to or playing someone else's system, that's always a downfall. I
took a look at the season statistics for you and your club. I think I saw 5 players averaging more than 2 kills per set. That's almost otherworldly balance on the offensive attack. Is that something that you emphasize in your coaching, or is that just kind of panned out as the season's moved along?
Well, that's what our philosophy is. We think you can contain or strategize against one player, but it's hard to stop 5 players. Our setter does a tremendous job of distributing the ball effectively and just being smart about her decisions. And we're just really relying on the fact that all 5 players are potentially may not be having their best match, but they're going to be having an effective match. And we pride ourselves. Our defense becomes our offense.
Tell me a little bit more about your setter. I mean, she's got, like you said, 5 weapons that she can go to at any time. Tell me a little bit more about and her maybe progress as the season's moved along.
Well, she's not only a great setter, but she's an offensive threat too. So you got another opponent there. You got 6 offensive players playing against another team. She's a freshman, redshirt freshman. She's an incredible setter, but has really come around this year in learning our system. She's very competitive, is a wonderful court leader, and just we're really proud of her progress being her freshman year in her first season of collegiate volleyball.
Speaking of progress, this is your 7th season at the helm for the Broncos and Bronco volleyball. You've got to be pleased with the progress that this program has made since you took over.
Yeah, we're really proud of not only the season so far, but the tradition that was established before we arrived as a staff. The 7 years it's obviously taking to build a program, and we're in a really good place. We've got great kids. They work hard. Their expectations are high, and we hope that this is one of many seasons of success for the future.
Coach Colleen Munson, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck today against the Huskies.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for your help.
Thank
Good job.
you.
Good interview.